Welcome to the ninth episode of the Lump Auricular Medicine course. Today, we discuss the clinical energetics of the points of Cavum and Cymba Concha. Point 35 is the mouth point. This is used to increase or decrease appetite. It is used with the hunger point in weight loss and stop smoking protocols to reduce both appetite and oral fixation. It is called the anti-fatigue point. Because it is in a very tender area, stimulating the mouth point is invigorating. This makes it effective in counteracting fatigue. So the mouth point stimulates appetite or the desire for food. Increase in fuel from food consumption increases energy. The mouth point is good for mouth ulcers, canker sores, deviation of the mouth. It has an invigorating effect if you apply the dispersion technique or the sedation technique. It is contraindicated when treating fatigue that accompanies insomnia, as excess stimulation can keep the patient awake. The mouth point can be stimulated in the day for fatigue. And the insomnia point is used in the evening to induce sleep. Point 36 is the heart point. This is for all heart problems in both Oriental and Western diagnosis. Western uses are tightness in the chest, palpitations, angina, circulation problems, hypertension, mitral valve prolapse, and stroke. For Chinese medicine, all the above problems in Western medicine, plus memory and concentration problems, emotional problems, anxiety, restlessness, psychological disturbances, easy daytime sweat, and insomnia. Because the heart is a supreme controller and moves the qi and blood, the heart point is used to control pain by moving stagnant qi and blood. It is effective in treating eye problems because in Oriental medicine, the heart has an internal pathway or eye system that runs from the heart to the eye. Point 37 is the trachea point. It's good for breathing, cough, constriction of the throat, speech problems. Point 38 is upper lung point. Good for shortness of breath, asthma, bronchitis, swollen glands, common cold, flu, sore throat. The lung is the master of qi. Therefore, the upper lung is the primary point for increasing energy and moving qi. The upper lung point, point 38, is the major point in withdrawal symptoms because it improves and regulates systemic energy, thereby contributing to feeling of well-being. Some sources say the upper lung point corresponds to the opposite lung, which is the contralateral lung. Lower lung point corresponds to the lung on the same side of the body as the ear, called the ipsilateral lung. When looking at the left ear of a patient, the upper lung point corresponds to the right lung, and the lower lung point corresponds to the left lung. Point 39 is the lower lung point. This is used similarly to upper lung point to enhance lung function. It is selected if the patient needs to breathe more deeply or if the patient's problem is in the lower part of the lung, as in pneumonia. We use the lower lung point to treat the lung on the same side of the body as the side of the ear being treated. That is, select the lower lung point in left ear to treat the left lung and the lower lung point in the right ear to treat the right lung. Remember, the ear at lung point stimulates the vagus nerve, which is the longest cranial nerve, which innervates lungs, diaphragm, stomach, and intestines. Lung points are sometimes called dermis points. These are the major rheumatological points for urticaria, reducing inflammation and irritation of the skin and mucous membranes, promoting healing because the lung dominates skin and mucous membranes. This includes internal mucous membranes of the mouth, nose, throat, stomach. Lung points are primary, clinically effective points for stomach and duodenal ulcers and ulcerative colitis. Next is point 40, which is called the esophagus, this area. This is good for treating difficulty in swallowing, acid reflux disease, in esophageal reflux, and acid regurgitation. Area 41 is the cardiac sphincter. This is a very powerful point to regulate the cardiac sphincter, the upper orifice of the stomach. If incompetent, the acid from the stomach can enter the esophagus and lead to acid reflux disease. Point 42 is the stomach point. This is good for stomach ulcers, gastralgia, dyspepsia, vomiting, nausea. It assists in rotting and ripening of the food, thus contributing to the formation of qi and blood. Stomach point resolves dampness and phlegm. This is used in weight loss protocols to reduce appetite. Shenmen and lung points are the core points in treating weight problems. Next is the liver point. It moves qi stagnation and blood stagnation, builds blood, nourishes yin. It benefits the eyes, tendons, muscles, ligaments, and nerves. The liver is the major point for facilitating digestion and for regulating hormonal and menstrual function. The liver point is good for stress, depression, migraines, hepatitis, spasm, convulsions, pain as a result of liver dysfunction. Point 44 is the hepatitis point. This is the additional point to treat hepatitis that is a rising health problem throughout the world. Point 45 is the relaxed muscle point, or RM. It encourages muscular relaxation. Pain comes from stagnation, and with stagnation, there will be muscular tension. Therefore, the relaxed muscle is important for relieving pain. This is a central point in the pain treatment strategy for muscular pain when one has menstrual cramps, back pain. Relaxed muscle point, point 45, is good for tension and relaxation. Like gallbladder 34, Yangling Chuan, in the body, this is the influential point that dominates the muscles. Relaxed muscle treats muscular pain. So this is the ear counterpart of GB34, the relaxed muscle point. 46 is spleen. Spleen qi and yang deficiency or spleen qi deficiency with repletion of dampness, blood production, problems of the muscles, abdominal distension, lethargy. It assists in the production of white blood cells, thereby enhancing immune function. Regulates digestion, assumes function of absorption of food assigned to small intestine in Western medicine. Then we have the Sanjiao or triple warmer. For regulation of water passages, it eliminates excess water or dump, treating edema. This is the theoretical construct to explain production of qi, blood body fluid, that become vital substances, the qi blood qinya. Thus, facilitates digestion and distributes vital substances to the entire body. Sanjiao point strengthens immunity, fights off exogenous evils, and this is very good for constipation. Sanjiao point is effective point for relaxation and in the treatment of stress, anxiety, psychosomatic disorders. Now let's go to the points of Cymba Concha. Number 48 is the duodenum point. It's good for duodenal ulcer, stimulates absorptive aspects of digestion, and ulcers may occur here. Point 49 is the small intestine point for digestive disturbances or food absorption problems. It aids in the separation of pure from impure. And small intestine point treats urinary tract infections due to heat in the heart shifting to the small intestine because heart is 5-element coupled organ of the small intestine. And SI point is very good for palpitations. Point 50 is the large intestine point. Regulates large intestine, helps with water absorption, loose stools, diarrhea and or constipation, hemorrhoids, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis. Point 51 is the appendix point for inflammation of vermiform appendix in acute simple appendicitis. Point 52 is called the bladder point for frequency of urination, dribbling urination, urinary incontinence, urinary urgency, difficult urination, painful urination, enuresis, retention of urine, kidney stones, bladder infections, cloudy urination. Point 53 is the kidney point For problems connected with bladder function, with foundation yin and yang, growth, maturation, development, that is all life cycle disorders, early puberty, early menopause, early hair graying. Important point in respiratory disorders because in Oriental medicine, the kidney grasps the chi of the lungs. Kidney point is good for immune disorders, builds blood, regulates body warmth. It's good for kidney stones, nephritis, lumbago, and tinnitus. Point 54 is ureters. Good for kidney stones that have collected in the ureters, and it assists in elimination of urine. Point 55, pancreas gallbladder point, assists in sugar, insulin regulation, and promotes proper bile flow. Participates in the breakdown of fats, helps the liver in its yang functions. This point is good for cholecystitis, cholelithiasis, pancreatitis, diseases of bile duct, gallstones, diabetes. The pancreas point is found in the left ear, gallbladder point is in the right. Sometimes the pancreas point is called the diabetes point. Thank you for your attention.